To work on this activity here, you will need to have some kind of Excel file or numbers app for iPads or for your Macs. So you could definitely use that, and we are going to try out some functions here. So I wanted to teach you how we could utilize these numbers. So I'm going to teach some functions. Now, the first function that we are going to try out is an addition function. So when you do an addition function, you could put a number in. So you could try putting number 20 in that first box. And we're going to put number 5 here. And what you can create next to it is this function where you could add these items. So the way that you use functions in Excel spreadsheets is you start with the equals sign. And the equals symbol tells you what you are going to be using as a formula. And so let's say I have this and I want whatever is in this box. So there we go, and it should highlight it. So once I press the equal sign, it should highlight any boxes that I click. And then let's say I want to add. So I'm going to put the plus sign and I'm going to add this box right there. And once I press enter, once I'm done, I press enter, and you can see that 20 plus 5 is 25. Now, what's pretty cool about this Excel spreadsheet then is I could change this number. So if I change it to number 10 and I press enter, you can see that it automatically makes the adjustment where now this is 15. So that is a simple addition function. Now let's say I want to do multiplying, and so I'll do 20 and I'll put 5 in the other box as well. So same thing, I'm going to press the equal sign right there. And I'm going to now, let's say, multiply this. So I'm going to click on 20, and I'm going to use the asterisk sign, which is this symbol, the star symbol right there, to show that I want to multiply. And then I'll click on the box that I want to multiply it with, press enter, and you can see that 20 times 5 is 100. Then we could try 20 and 5. This time I'm going to try subtraction. So you probably could make a guess. If you want to pause here and give it a shot yourself, see what you could come up with, go ahead and give that a try. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I'm going to have this box right here, and I'm going to subtract the next box, and I press enter, and voila, 20 minus 5 is 15. And I could also do dividing. So if I have the equal symbol and I click on the first box, now the divide is the slash symbol. So 20 divided by 5, I press enter, and there I get the calculations. If I change the first one to 20 again, you can see that these are all the order of operations that you will need to know. So once you kind of get the hang of it, you could select everything and just erase. You might want to erase the boxes one by one. If you're using an iPad, it might take a little bit of time to click and drag, but I could individually show you how to do that as well. So now, let's make this a little bit more complex and a little bit more appropriate for us to use. So if you think about the worksheet that you worked on, you had a few categories, and we're actually going to use those categories here, and we're going to take a look at what categories we are working with, right? So in the first box, I have the service or the item, and I might want to put that in there. Services or items. Then I want to know the costs per service or item. And sometimes I like to make this just fit the biggest text, so sometimes you could just drag that, or you could double click that symbol to make that work. And then I'm going to use there's the variable portion, and the variable represents the amount. Now in this case, we're going to tweak it a little bit. We're just going to say the amount. This is because we don't actually need a variable to represent it, because each box can be a variable if you leave it blank. And as you saw earlier, you could just type in different numbers, and you could see you could see the calculations change off the bat. And then I'm going to have my flat rate here. These are the costs that I'm going to have no matter what service or item they choose. And here I am going to use, instead of the algebraic expression, I will just say final costs. And voila, this is what you have here. Now, I'm going to select these boxes, and I'm just going to go to the first line below it, and then I will insert a table. Now you can see when I insert a table, it automatically pushes everything down. Because I already put in the table headers, so I'm actually going to choose the fact that this has headers already, so that later when I make adjustments, I could filter, I could do different things with this. But this is what a table would look like. What's also nice with these tables is if I keep going, you could see that, or if I were to write, let's say a service here, let's say I'll do my photography business. So let's go with a photo shoot. But here, if I type something below, so let's say I want to offer a video service as well. Once I press enter, you could see that it automatically adds this a line to my table. And so then I could add another thing in here, which might be a sticker pack. Press enter again, and voila, right? So as you could see, I could just keep adding my different items. Now let me show you how this would work in total or overall. So I will then put the cost per service or item. So let's say for a photo shoot, for each photo, I want to charge $3. Now, in this case, do not put any symbols. I could show you how to turn this into a currency, and then you could have your symbols, but we want to leave them as numbers for now. And so I'm just going to put the number 3 there. Let's say a video recording. A video is going to cost a little bit more. So per video I record, let's say I'm going to charge them $20. And for a sticker pack, I can make that cheaper. I can make that like just $1 right there. All right. So these are the set numbers that I'm going to have. And as you saw in your equation, this is not a variable because this is not going to change. No matter how many photos they take, I'm going to charge them $3 per photo, and that's it. If you would like to turn it into a like a deal or something, you want to make a deal, you could do that. There are different ways to do that as well, and we could figure that out if you're ever serious about turning this into something bigger. Now the amount is a variable, so I'm going to leave this one blank because we are going to fill this up later on. Now let's say I have a flat rate. And so my flat rate is for a photo shoot, a standard photo shoot, I'm going to say is let's make it $20 actually. For video recording, because I have to edit the videos and it takes a while, I might charge a little bit more on this and I'll make it $100. Whereas a sticker pack, I'm just going to make that like $5, no matter how many sticker packs they want to make. So we actually have everything set up at this point. Now, what I will do is I need to make the equation to complete this process. So I will press the equal symbol like I did earlier. Then let's think about the algebraic equation, right? So in this case, it would look something like 3x plus 20. So what I would do is I would have 3, and I know that it's going to be 3 times x. So I'm going to put times the times symbol right there, which is the asterisk. Now don't put the letter x because we need to tell the Excel what is going to be the letter x. And so I will put it in the amount instead, right? Because it's going to be 3 times whatever this amount is, x. And then I'm going to add the flat rate, which is $20. Now, if you wanted to replace this with 3 and replace this with 20, you actually can do that. However, in some cases, maybe I want to use this in the long run. And so if I want to change the cost of a photo shoot in the future, maybe my business is becoming big, then it's good to have it like this because then I could still make adjustments. So technically, in a way, you could see all of these as being variables, but I'm personally locking them in by just having the number in there. And then once I'm done with my equation there, I'll press enter. Now what's cool about Excel is it does these, it usually takes a table and it does the rest of the calculations for me automatically. So there it is. Now, let's try to play around with what this would look like. I usually like to somehow indicate the boxes that I'm using as my variable. So in this case, I maybe want to bold it, and so I'll just use the bold function there. So when I type a number in, it's bolded. So you could see that I did Command B or Control B, so you probably couldn't quite see that. But this is a good reminder of what I have as my variable. So I'm going to just put 1 there. So now you could see that if I have 3 photos, a photo shoot, and the person wants to take 1 photo, it's going to cost them $3 to maybe print out that photo, and it takes me $20 to edit the photos. And so there you can see that the total cost is $23. For the video, it's 120, and for the sticker pack, it's 6. Now here's where it gets pretty cool. Once I have this Excel spreadsheet set up, I could just start putting numbers in, right? So let's say the person wants 100 photos. If I put 100 in there, I see the final costs. Let's say I want a video recording as well, and they want 3 videos. So I'll put that in there. And let's say they want 200 sticker packs. And voila. And these are the costs. Now you could do something one step further. So for these tables, you could do a kind of a final cost at the bottom here, or you can manually put it in. So this is a where I add numbers together, but I'm going to quickly just show you how to add them as a sum. So a sum function is something that adds a number of boxes off the bat. All right, so I don't even have to type too much. So I just have to type in sum. I put in parentheses, and then I drag these 3 boxes to add them all up. And then I could close it with the parentheses, or I could just press enter. In this case, I like making it look clean, so I'll just close it myself and I'll press enter, and voila. Now I have a complete guide to what I would be charging. The flaw with this is that for the flat rate, it will always be there because, you know, even if this is 0, you see how I automatically charge 125. In a real business, you wouldn't do this. You would probably want to do like it would only add it if I have a number in here, and we can make those adjustments in the future. But for now, we could just leave it like this, and that's pretty much it. So if I make the adjustments one more time, let's say I do 3 photo shoots, 3 video recordings, and 3 sticker packs, then you could see that the cost automatically adds up. And this is how you use Excel. This is what I would like you to have, and so this is the file that you submit. Once you have this done, you could put numbers in here. Just make sure they're indicated with like a bold or some other coloring, and I can help you with what you prefer. But have a table like this, turn in the file, and you are good to go.